What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. Let's get into Smackdown for August the 11th, 2023. Pretty okay show for the most part. Kevin Patrick should never welcome us to Friday Night Smackdown or Monday Night Raw. Kevin Patrick needs to be at the end of the commentary desk. It should be Corey Graves on the left, Michael Cole in the middle, and Kevin Patrick on the right. Kevin Patrick is not a good commentator. He's not. I do like his stuff when he was on the bump, and he is a serviceable backstage interviewer. That's where he succeeds and excels in. But he does not need to be the guy in the middle. He's not ready. He's just not ready. But I think as we get closer to the merger, I think Endeavor will probably end up maybe putting Kevin Patrick probably on NXT and SmackDown as a backstage interviewer. I think that's what they'll end up doing with Kevin Patrick. And keep Michael Cole as the main play-by-play guy on both Raw and SmackDown, along with Corey Graves and Wade Barrett. So that's probably what they'll end up doing. It makes the most sense, if we're being honest. Alright, that's enough about commentary. Let's go ahead and get into the show. First match of the night, Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. We've seen this 1,000,002 times. Now we're about to see it 1,000,003. Thankfully, it was a no contest. Damage Control ended up getting involved. So, Iyo Sky did a double drop kick to both Charlotte Flair and Asuka, causing the no contest. The referee immediately called for the bell, which was great. Post-match, Iyo Sky threw Asuka into the ring post, shoulder first. And then Dakota Kai announced Iyo Sky as your new WWE Women's Champion. And Damage Control continues to celebrate. And then Corey Graves says Iyo Sky was chanting, "We are the champion," while backstage today. So this makes sense, I guess. I'm guessing what they could do is probably cause some dissension within Damage Control and probably have Bayley feuding with Iyo and then save Charlotte and Asuka for later on down the road. That's probably what I would end up doing, because they need to break up Damage Control. And Dakota Kai, I don't think she's cleared. I know she's injured. She suffered her knee injury back in the middle part of May. But I don't know if she can, go just yet. So that's kind of up in the air. But that kind of seems like the direction that they're going to go in. I hope they don't do another triple threat. I don't want to see that shit. I despise triple threat matches. I do. I despise them to the highest degree. Moving on. So Kayla Braxton, she's backstage with Santos Escobar. He says the one word that describes him about how he feels going into this title shot is confident. This title match is confidence. So Santos says all that confidence will pay off tonight because he's got Theory's number. So Theory then attacks Santos Escobar and unloads and slams him into production cases. Austin Theory talks some trash while pounding on Escobar, but officials come and try to separate the two. Theory then slams another production case lid onto Santos Escobar's knee, and he yells out. And Austin Theory dips out. as the rest of the LWO, minus Zelina Vega, they try to help Santos Escobar. Okay. I'm fine with this. Makes sense. Karrion Kross and Scarlett, they're backstage. So Kross addresses AJ Styles and says it's time to take things to a new level. Karrion Kross goes on and says something about how AJ showed him the importance of brotherhood and how a prophet is truly nothing without his disciples. Kross says we will see soon. Okay, pretty good shit from Kross. I'm liking Kross, but he, like so many on the main roster, he is directionless. He has no sense of fucking direction, and I hate that for him. So this leads us into AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross. AJ Styles gets the win via the Styles Clash for the 1, 2, 3. Pretty solid match. The feud is essentially over. Towards the end of the match, Scarlett tries to get involved, but Mia Yim beats her down and throws her over the announce table. And then this allows for Styles to do the Pele kick into the Styles Clash for the 1, 2, 3. And then post-match, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, they celebrate with AJ Styles and Mia Yim, a.k.a. Michin. So the OC gets a major win there, I guess. I don't know what you do with AJ Styles going forward, and I don't know what you do with Karrion Kross going forward. Really don't. They're kind of both in the same boat. Where does AJ go? What's he going to do? He can't challenge for the U.S. title, and he's not going for the world title. So, what do you do with him? Kross, same thing. What do you do with him? I wish that Karrion Kross had a faction with him. I really do. But who would it consist of? Don't know. That's another question that I have. I don't know. I really don't fucking know. I don't. And so many fall into this category of no direction. And both AJ Styles and Karrion Kross are on that list. I can think of several names on that list. Moving on. So, Kayla Braxton is backstage waiting for an update from Santos Escobar. So Austin Theory interrupts and says he's disappointed that Escobar is injured because he wanted to defend his title tonight. So Rey Mysterio comes out of the trainer's room and promises Santos will be there for the match. Then we go back to my boy Edge. So he's out to a massive pop. So Edge says he knows he wasn't advertised to be here, but it's been too long since he was in Calgary, and he needed to see the fans here. Edge says he needed a reason to be up here, and here he is. He announces he wants to wrestle a match next week for his 25th anniversary in Toronto. A match against someone he's never wrestled one-on-one. This person is Sheamus. Edge says they have a lot of history, which is interesting, but most isn't known by fans. He talks about filming in 2019 for Sheamus' Celtic Warrior workouts show on YouTube, and how a bicycle fall had him wondering if he could wrestle again. Edge called Sheamus out. Edge then called Sheamus before the 2020 Royal Rumble return, so Sheamus could help him find out if he was ready for a return. Sheamus came to his home and stayed and became a member of his extended family. So Edge brings Sheamus out to give him an answer for next week. So Sheamus comes out along with the Brawling Brutes, which we didn't need. This should have just been Edge and Sheamus. No need for Butch or Ridge Holland. No need for those two guys at all, period. So Sheamus and Edge, they duck around for a little bit. And Sheamus shows us some bicycle footage. Sheamus wants to get serious for a moment. He recalls being at a career crossroads in 2004. He didn't know if he wanted to pursue his dream in WWE or do another job like in IT. He was working as a bouncer at a club one night, and WWE stars were there in the pub as the company was in the city for a UK tour. Sheamus thought it would be good to talk to some superstars to get his wheels turning, but all talents turned their backs on him. That night, everyone except for Edge. Not only did Edge talk to Sheamus, he sat down with him and bought him a pint of Guinness, which is a big deal where Sheamus comes from. Sheamus knew then that Edge was a world-class athlete. Sheamus says it's astonishing that they never wrestled. Sheamus says Edge talks about that 2019 video was the catalyst for his return. Well, without that conversation in the pub that night, Sheamus said he might not be standing here tonight. So Edge says, how about next week in Toronto? We fight each other and then go back and have some nice scotch. What do you say? So Sheamus looks around at the crowd and takes it all in and asks Calgary what they think, and fans continue cheering. Sheamus says if Edge swipes that scotch for Guinness, he's got a deal. So they shake on it and they embrace. Sheamus says Sheamus says he just hopes Edge didn't make a mistake in asking for the match. So Edge nods and smiles, and then both of them dip out. So this is fucking great. This is going to be an absolute TV banker. This needs to be the main event of next week's show, and I am absolutely excited for this. This is going to be such good shit. This is going to be great. Absolutely, this is going to be great. Wow. I never knew any of this. I'm not going to hold you guys up. I never knew any of this. This is great. This is absolutely great. This is going to be golden. This is going to be tremendous. I am all in for this. Let's go. Two veterans going to war just for the hell of it. Sign me up. Let's go. Next. So we get a graphic for happy birthday for Hulk Hogan. He turned 70, so happy birthday to him. Great. So this leads us into LA Knight, versus Top Dollar. So LA Knight gets the win via the blunt force trauma for the 1, 2, 3. Massive pop as always. Post-match, LA Knight gets on the mic and says, several times. LA Knight says it doesn't matter where it's at, whether he's on Raw or Smackdown, or whether you call yourself Awesome or Dr. Phil, you will recognize who the people are talking about. They spell the name together, and then LA Knight ends the promo with a to the crowd. So that was great. Love it. So LA Knight is still going to be in the feud with The Miz, which is tremendous. I love that. I'm more interested in their promo battles, not the match per se. The match will probably be given about, I'd say 10 to 12 minutes, and still have LA Knight go over. So, can't wait for that. That's going to be good too. Moving on. So, Santos Escobar is in the trainer's room getting ready. So, Rey Mysterio is with him. Adam Pearce comes in and says Santos has been cleared for tonight's match, but Pearce needs to make sure that Santos is ready to go for this. Santos says that he's ready. Adam Pearce walks off. Santos stands up, but appears to be limping a bit as Rey helps him. Moving on. So, we get a sit-down with my boy, Bobby Lashley, and the Street Profits. Or as Michael Cole calls them, the Suit Profits. So, Bobby Lashley says, tonight is a celebration of destroying what was, of an alliance, of a future, of unlimited possibilities. Lashley says, one of the saddest things in life is untapped potential. And when he looked at Montez Ford and Enzo Dawkins, he sees a ton of talent. He won't say untapped potential because they've done some great things. Like last week, how did that make you feel? So then we see a replay of what happened with them beating down the Brawling Brutes and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. So they both felt good, and it doesn't get much better than that. But Montez Ford says, it feels like the job isn't finished. Lashley tells them to imagine what the three of them can accomplish together. Power, control, titles, and all. The Profits mention how the sky is the limit. Lashley says, Smackdown is ready for some new blood. So let's run this place. And then they do a champagne toast to end the segment. Fucking great. This was excellent. This was beautiful. I am ready for this. I'm ready for it. This is great. I could see Bobby Lashley being U.S. champion in due time, and I could see the Street Profits being tag team champions whenever SmackDown gets their version of the tag titles. I could definitely see that. But this is great. So this leads us into Santos Escobar versus Austin Theory. So Austin Theory immediately attacks Santos Escobar as he makes his entrance. He attacks Escobar's other leg as officials come out to attend to the situation. So Theory gets on the mic and says he just wants to apologize for all these fans missing out on experiencing Austin Theory live. Austin Theory says he wanted to defend tonight, but Santos Escobar is just too weak. Theory calls on a referee to come in and make the result official because he's ready to go home. So Adam Pearce and a doctor on the entranceway is checking on Santos Escobar with the rest of the LWO. So Adam Pearce takes the mic and says, we promised Calgary a title match, so Austin Theory is going to defend against Rey Mysterio. So this leads us into Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. So Rey Mysterio gets the win via the 619 into the knee, and then he does it again to Austin Theory. Then he hits the frog splash for the 1, 2, 3. New U.S. champion, Rey Mysterio. I'm not mad at this. I'm fine. It actually makes sense. So post-match, Rey takes the title to greet fans at ringside. Rey then joins the LWO on the entranceway for a celebration, and then we see Santos along crutches, and then the LWO poses together. Loud pyro goes off, and they continue praising Mysterio, while an angry and disappointed Austin Theory looks up from the mat. So this is cool stuff there. It makes sense. Austin Theory was going nowhere with the U.S. title. He wasn't doing jack shit with it, so I'm glad that Rey won. I'm guessing they could end up turning Santos heel, which is what they might do. Or maybe they may have the match at Payback, Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar, and then he ends up going over at Payback next month. So they might end up going that route. I don't know. But there's a couple of possibilities that they could do with this. Hopefully, Santos does turn heel. I think that would make a lot of sense. If we're being honest, it would. He is a really good babyface, but he's a way better heel. I love when Legado del Fantasma were heels in NXT. They were tremendous. Tremendous. They were tremendous as babyfaces and tremendous as heels. So, either or. But we'll see where it all leads. The closing segment, which kind of has me baffled, I would say. So, Roman does his usual acknowledge me shtick. Roman asks for the wise man, where's Jimmy Uso? Paul Heyman doesn't know. So Roman asks if Paul Heyman went the whole day without talking to Jimmy or seeing him. Heyman says he talked to him this morning and he was rather salty. So Jimmy suddenly appears and he comes over the barrier at ringside. He's dressed in all black like he was at SummerSlam. So Jimmy gets on the mic. A "You Sold Out" chant breaks out from the crowd. Roman tells Jimmy to not worry about the fans because they mean nothing. So Reigns chuckles as Jimmy stares him down. Roman says, let's be real about it. I owe you one. Roman tells Jimmy to name his price, anything you want, and it's done. A new car, done. A yacht, done. So Jimmy interrupts and says he doesn't want anything from Reigns. Nothing. I want nothing from you. So Jimmy says what he did at SummerSlam, Uso, has nothing to do with you. So Roman begins to laugh and says Jimmy must be confused or with something because Roman can make anything happen. Reigns says if you don't want material things, you want power or position, the new right-hand man, main event, Jimmy Uso, we can make it happen. Then out comes Jey Uso to a big pop. Jey walks down and stares right into the ring as Jimmy talks to Roman, perhaps telling him things might get rough now that Jay's here. So Jey gets into the ring. Jimmy turns around and they immediately are in each other's faces. So they have a little face-off. The fans pop. Jey says he's about to throw 37 years down the drain if Jimmy doesn't tell him why he did what he did at SummerSlam. So Jey shoves the mic to Jimmy's chest. The crowd gasped, like me. I was like, damn, oh shit. So Jimmy says he did what he did at SummerSlam because he loves Jey. So Roman laughs. Jimmy says that he was afraid of losing Jey. He says jealousy had nothing to do with it, but he thought if Jey won the title, what would happen to the Usos? Jimmy says not only would Jey become the new tribal chief, but he would inherit some kind of power that made Jey like Roman. Jimmy says Roman is corrupted, and he would never be able to live if he watched Jey become an egotistical, lying, a manipulative asshole like Reigns. Say that 3 times fast. So then an asshole chant breaks out, which is great. So Jimmy says that's the damn truth. He was just afraid that Jey would leave him. Jimmy says it's fine if Jey doesn't believe him or never talks to him again. But he did not do what he did as a way to step on Jey's shine or anything like that. It was just because he loves Jey. Jimmy says, so if Jey wants to kick his face off and end this 37 years, then give it to me. So Jimmy opens up his arms and pokes his chest out, waiting to be hit. So Jey paces and shakes his head. Jey turns back to Jimmy. Jimmy's confused. He looks at Jey and then nods and then he dips out. Roman laughs, looks at Jey and says, this is the perfect time that he told you so. Roman says he's been telling Jey that he'd mess this whole thing up if he wasn't careful because Jey is a hothead. Roman goes on and says, this isn't about Jey or his brother now. No one cares about them any longer. Roman says this is all about the same thing it's been about for the past 3 years. So acknowledge him. Then out of nowhere, Jey super kicks Roman. Solo tries to fight off Jey, but then Jey super kicks Solo to avoid the Samoan spike. Reigns then was able to come back and hit a Superman punch on Jey. So Roman goes for a spear. Jey dodges that, and then he hits a spear of his own. So, Jimmy, he's at the top of the stage. And then Jey tells him to come here. So Jimmy does. And then Jey super kicks Jimmy. And then Jey goes to the crowd and declares that he's out. He's out of the bloodline. He's out of Smackdown. And he's out of WWE. And then he throws up the peace sign and says deuces. And then he says deuces, ooses, and then he's out. And then Smackdown goes off the air. And I'm like, this is weird to me. This is absolutely weird to me. Why would Jey say this? Again, where do you go from here? Obviously, this is for storyline purposes. So obviously, he's not going to go to any other wrestling promotion. I don't know where this goes. Do we get a Fatal 4-Way match at Survivor Series? Like, what's going to happen? Something has to main event Payback. Something has to main event Extreme Rules. What are we doing here? Like, this is weird to me. I can't even process this. I can't. I don't know where we go with this. I don't. So why do this? This is very weird to me, and it boggles my mind to have Jey even say this. I don't know. Maybe Jey dips out for a month and a half, and then he comes back around maybe 4 weeks before Survivor Series, and then maybe we get Team Jey versus Team Jimmy. I don't know. I can't even think of what could happen. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know why they would do this. Who knows? But this leads me to have more questions than answers. And that's what I'm left with. I don't know what you guys are left with, but that's what I'm left with. So, I don't know. I really don't know. This is why I wish that they never would have done this at all. You can't break up the Usos. I don't want to see them at WrestleMania 40. I don't. Like, nobody wants to see that. Like, this is Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy all over again. It just doesn't make any sense. I've never really liked brother versus brother feuds. I just don't like it. I don't know, man. I don't know where we go from here. I don't. My best guess is maybe Jey shows up a little bit before Survivor Series, and maybe we get a Fatal 4-Way. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso versus Solo for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Maybe that's where this all leads to, I guess. Because Jimmy doesn't give a damn about Roman. Same with Jey. Solo's getting hot with Roman. He's getting pissed with him. So I'm guessing that's where this all leads to. A Fatal 4-Way at Survivor Series. Because we know Roman's not going to work Extreme Rules or Payback. So he's not, like, those two things are out of the question. But I don't know. We'll find out. But this was weird to me. This was weird to me. But what did you guys think? Let me know. Smackdown overall was a pretty okay show. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
To the